Hi everyone, my name is Erin and I run the Instagram account SmartGirl Study. Today I'm going to show you how I make my summaries using PowerPoint. Okay, so first things first, I start off by changing the page size and orientation. I'm going to change my page size to A4, but you can also change it to letter if that is the standard page size where you live. I'm then going to make a color scheme. You don't have to do this, you can just pick a couple of colors that you want and they will come up in the recently used colors. But if there is a specific set of colors that you really like using, creating a color scheme will enable you to use the same colors over and over again in all of your documents. For this particular summary, the font that I am going to be using for my headings is called Cocoa Goose, and it is a free font that you can download online. And the color scheme that I'm going to be using is a pink color scheme that I am creating myself over here. First things first, I'm going to insert an auto shape. It is the rectangle with rounded corners. This will be used for my heading and my title blocks. As you can see, I have adjusted the zoom to 100% just to get a better sense of how big things actually are so that I can choose appropriate font sizes. As you can see, I made the corners less round. This is because when I use the same rectangle for my information blocks, I will be able to save more space. As you can see, I'm adjusting the rectangle to fit my text box, and I'm copying and pasting to create a new rectangle, which I will use for the first section of my summary, which is going to be temperature and heat. In the interest of saving time and not having to type out everything, I'm just going to copy and paste the information in so that I can focus on showing you how to use PowerPoint. So first thing I've done here is inserted a text box with a couple of definitions, and I'm going to insert another text box now with the heading for this particular section. I'm going to make it grey. I'm going to use the same font, Cocoa Goose, and I'm going to use around about size 14 for this. I'm now inserting a table. I will use this to summarize all of the important formulas for this chapter. As you can see, I've made the fill clear and I've added borders to the table under the layout formatting option on table tools. I merged the top row to insert a heading, and I'm now going to start editing the table to contain the information that I want. The first thing I'm doing is adding a table heading. I will then fill the left column with a pattern fill. You do this by going to Table Tools, Layout, Shading, Gradient, More Gradients, and then a column will pop up on the right hand side of your page, and you can select Pattern Fill, the pattern you want, and what colors that pattern should consist of. As you can see, I have inserted the data of my table by copying and pasting. The formulas on the left hand side are equation inserts, which I will revisit later, and I will show you how to use the equations tool on Microsoft. Microsoft Word has the same tool. As you can see, I've inserted a couple more definitions at the bottom of this table, and I am now going to start duplicating this table to create the second section of information for the summary. There we go, copy and paste both the table outline, the heading, and the table itself. I'm going to adjust the heading for thermal properties of matter and adjust the size just so that it fits in one line in the interest of saving space. I'm now going to copy and paste my table across. I will delete the information, but the formatting will stay the same, which is great because this will enable me to not have to repeat what I just did to make the other table look nice. I've added all my formulas and I'm just going to adjust the column widths to make sure that everything fits well. I'm going to insert a text box at the bottom where I will add a couple of definitions. This is just because in physics, people don't always use the same symbol to indicate the same thing. So this is just in the interest of standardization so that I know exactly what each symbol means in the context of the section. I'm now going to add the last section, which is also going to be outlined by a pink rectangle, and the last section is about the first law of thermodynamics. The table that I'm going to use for this section is going to be slightly more complex. It's going to have 4 columns, some of which will be merged, but I will show you how to do that in a second. I'm first going to add a text box with a little bit of information giving context to the section. Then I'm going to take one of my existing tables and I'm going to format it under the Table Tools Design section. under the Table Tools Layout section, I can insert columns to the right. You'll see me doing this now. There we go. So now my table consists of 4 columns, and I'm going to merge the top row so that the heading spans across the whole table. And you'll see me formatting the bottom row of blocks to fit the left-hand row, as these will be either titles or important formulas that give context to the rest of the formulas for this section. For now, I'm just copying and pasting the information into the table just to save time on this video. As you can see, I just adjusted the font size to make sure that everything fits nicely. I'm now inserting a new table. I decided that for this section I would insert a couple of useful math formulas just to help myself solve problems so that I don't have to flick through math notes while I'm trying to work on these problem sets. As you can see, I rotated the font under the layout section of Table Tools so that useful math sits on its side. I'm now going to adjust the width of that column and start inserting formulas. You can go to Insert and then Equations, and Microsoft actually has a tool which will allow you to insert integrals, square roots, subscripts, fractions, and a whole variety of mathematical symbols. You can also add accents, insert limits, adjust operators, and this saves a lot of time if you are either a math or science student who uses a lot of mathematical equations. This is a really great tool. The more you use it, you'll start to learn shortcuts for the tool, which will definitely save you a lot of time. The tool works exactly the same in Microsoft Word as well, so if you would prefer to make your notes in Microsoft Word, you'll have access to the same tool there. Alright, and then the last thing I'm going to do is just shade this table slightly so that it looks nice. I'm going to use the same format that I used earlier, where I go to Table Tools, Design, Shading, Gradient, More Gradients. The little block will pop up on the right hand side of my page. I can select Pattern Fill and then choose the pattern I like and adjust the colors of that. And then I will just have a quick look at my whole page by zooming out. Currently I'm on 100% zoom, just to check that everything fits neatly and that there's no overlap. And then I will save this as a PDF. I choose to save all my summaries as PDFs because this ensures that the font doesn't change if I open the summary on another computer, and it just makes it easier to store, open on my iPad, open on other devices, and ultimately print out from the library computers at my university. I'm just thinking there's one very important formula. I'm going to add a darker border around that particular block by going to Table Tools, Designs, adjusting the pen color and width, and adding a border just to that block. And then I will save it again and open it in Adobe Reader. There we go. There's my finished thermodynamics summary.
Hi everyone, I hope you enjoyed my first ever YouTube video. I hope to start vlogging soon, so if you would like to see more videos like this one or some of my vlogs, please subscribe to this channel. Also, if you're not already following me on Instagram, my Instagram handle is SmartGirl Study. Happy studying!